I should have done that.
Yeah.
I got
What were you talking about the green jacket filing earlier, Tom? What were you saying about that?
Well, for your green jacket filing, you did us some 56Fs, and I had trouble locating mine. Now that I have them, it looks like they're exactly what we need to finish out the authorization package.
Not necessarily, okay?
They have to be modified?
No. Basically, the key thing out here is basically understanding the laws that are already in place, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Number one item, okay? Identity theft. They have stolen your identity from you of being a creditor and turned you into a debtor. That is identity theft. That is why everything out here, you go into all the attorney generals, all the damn inspector generals, all the different sites, and what do they address? Identity theft. They have stolen your identity, turning you from a creditor into a debtor. We, the people, are the creditors of America. This was addressed in both the Articles of Confederation and also in the Constitution of this country. Okay? The title of it was Full Faith and Credit Clause. In the Constitution, it's Article 4, Section 1. Well, who gives the full faith and credit? It's we, the people, give our full faith and credit to the government. The government has no faith, and the government has no credit. They own nothing. They're a corporation. And as a corporation, they're a fiction, and a fiction can't have any faith. You have to have the faith and belief in them, in the government, that they will uphold their protections to you. We gave them our full faith and credit. Now they owe something back to us to protect our rights and our powers per the 9th and 10th Amendment. Now, the foreign bankers have used this clause against us because full faith and credit on an individual basis is basically your marketable title, your name. Your living name, signature, was giving the full faith and credit over to this foreign bankrupt corporation. And then they turned around and turned that into creating a debtor in your same name, but they're using your credits, and then they're trying to get you to pay out of your back pocket on top of it. You pay the bill, basically, you should get your full faith and credits back. It's that simple. If you're not going to use my full faith and credits, then you pay me that shit back. I paid you out of my back pocket. Now you pay me back what I gave to you. See, this is what you did with the certificate of title to your property, what you did with the certificate of title to your vehicle, what you did with the driver's license, what you did with the voter registration card. You gave these as letters of credit over to this fraudulent government, bankrupt government, that are foreign entities, state of Iowa, United States, all capitalized. They're bankrupt. They're dead. They're not the de jure government of this country. And they're operating in bad faith all around. That's their faith. The false worship. And then they put all these moral codes against you. And see, the government could not use the word shall against the people. They could use the word may, and then the people had to consent of whether to give that to the government or not. But the government could not impose a shall upon the people. I went around and around with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission when I was working in nuclear power on that one. If it does not say shall, then we didn't have to do it. They can't come in and read a may and turn it into a shall. And I shoved that right up their ass several times. Words are key to this whole understanding out here. Initially, before the chapter 15 came out, basically it was a chapter 9, a municipal filing. But we could have done it probably under a chapter 7 also, but now we have greater power under this chapter 15 because we can come in and do a foreign judgment lien against them out of our international organization. And we come in as a private attorney general into the process. You read these items and study some more and pull up other items on chapter 15 when you do a search on the internet, and you'll find that basically we are going to replace the trustee. We will become the administrator in the settlement. We can also, as a private attorney general, issue out a search and seizure warrant. An application by a federal law enforcement officer or an attorney for the government requests the search. We are our own private government, and we're an private attorney general for our government. Our independent, not independent, but international organization government. They don't want you to know this, okay? For basically filing fees, you can basically give over to them full faith and credit for this amount. Now, if they refuse to take it, what are they admitting to? They're admitting that they are not the de jure government. Carte blanche. Because the de jure government has to take our signature as a full faith and credit payment when we give it. But the de facto, or this fraudulent, bankrupt government out here, they will try and deny it. Well, basically, you put it in an affidavit form. Now they have to come in and rebut that affidavit of you giving that full faith and credit. I gave Tom a couple documents there to post up PDFs about Chapter 15. It's going to take a little bit of thinking to get this understanding of what it's saying. I also had the International Organization booklet put up there. There's a couple others. Now, do we need to go to the Secretary of State for some of this stuff? Hell no. We tell the Secretary of State what we want, and we will get it from the du jour. We're not going to go into this bankrupt Secretary of State and request any plead with them for anything. We tell them what we want. Now, Chapter 15, or USC 15 USC Chapter 1, or Section 1 and 2 come into play in this bankruptcy, because you'll take the state of Iowa or the state of wherever you are, the all capital, and the United States into this bankruptcy action also. You have to list all of your debtor persons that they, like your driver's license person, your certificate of title to your vehicle, your certificate of title to your house person that they made into debtors. You're going to have to list all those debtors in the process, identifying them as such. What are they a debtor for? And then basically the state of Iowa or state of whatever, and the United States, basically they have been committing treasonous acts in violation of Chapter or Section Title 15 USC Section 1 and 2. They've restricted our right of free trade. They have also monopolized the monetary structure in this country by not utilizing our letters of credit the way they were supposed to be, our full faith and credit. They hit it out on the sideline and then tried to make us pay again, and then they try and get us to abandon our letter of credit that we placed on deposit. The foreign bankers knew how to basically play this game against us. And they get you to consent to the damn process. You stand up and you do not consent. I gave you a full faith and credit out here already. The bill is paid. But you make it in an affidavit form, and now they have to rebut that affidavit, because only the living can give an affidavit. And only a living can rebut an affidavit. That means they have to step out from behind their bar card to come in, because their bar card is operating as a fiction. And basically, in both cases, you can file a $100 million judgment lien against the state of and the United States in the process. They are foreign states to you. They're foreign nations. If Iowa is a nation in the constitutional United States of America, and each state was a separate nation, just like the Indian nation also makes up part of the United States of America. There's a bunch of nations within this major nation or country. Now you have another 50-odd foreign nations, the United States bankrupt nation, the state of whatever bankrupt nation. Now you come in as an international organization because you have transgressed several nation boundaries, and you're protected by the Declaration of Independence in the process. You've been assigned a separate individual person by giving a letter of credit with your certificate of live birth person. That created your second person in your organization. And an organization is made up of two or more. If you got married, basically you got a third one. In the initial Constitution, and even in the Articles of Confederation, it was all supposed to be headed by a man in the process of this foreign nation or this international organization, independent organization, however you want to look at it. The woman was supposed to be a co-partner in this organization. Therefore, you now had two in your organization. I don't know whether you people understand this. I've tried to say all along that basically the Constitution is nothing but a banking charter. International banking charters. And we had to give them the credits to operate by. Give them our faith and belief that basically they were going to protect our rights and powers. And then, since only the living can own anything, the corporations can't own dick shit. The shareholders have to own it. That's a living person. It always reverts back to the living. The dead can't own anything. It's that damn simple. And basically, most of the time, you're going into a dead court of the dead. A pharaonic court, just like out of Egypt with the pharaohs and everything. They started out with something simple, taxing, burying the dead, and they moved that over into controlling all the aspects of the life of the people in Egypt. Just like they've done here in this country. And then they restricted the trade of the people, the commerce of the people. But they used the people's credits all for their own benefits. And they kept hoping that basically the people would just leave the capstone on the Great Pyramid intact. Well, basically Moses wasn't going to put up with that. They took the capstone down because all of that gold that was on the capstone belonged to the people. Moses wasn't going to leave town without the payment that was due back to the people. Now, you either start standing up and basically start going after this, or else just give up and just stay as a slave to the Egyptians, if that's what you want to be, or the Babylonians, or the Greeks, or the Romans, or the Medes, Persians, all the way down through history. Yeah, there's been a lot of people that just stayed as slaves to the damn controllers, to the bankrupts, to the money changers, operating in their dead world of monetary system. that goes all the way back to Eve eating the damn apple off the damn tree and not understanding that is your banking system. You have to know why you can do this Chapter 15. You have to come in and use affidavits when you do this. You have to know what a judicial lien is. You have to know and fully understand and can defend the full faith and credit, Article 4, Section 1 clause. Okay. I think I've said enough. It's open for questions or comments right now. Star 6 if you want to talk.
I can see your general point, Patrick, but I'm just going to have to sit down and read this and pound on it. Just you've given us a good introduction to what we have to look for. I've been through a Chapter 13, so I have some familiarity with bankruptcy, but of course not this, and I knew about the 9.
But this is where we should have been all along, was this Chapter 15.
Right. Yeah.
But they didn't come out with it, and basically it was forced into their hand by the United Nations. But in most cases, they're looking at it strictly as an international corporation. But you are an international organization, and basically they were trying to do something for their protection of the international corporations, but this can backfire big time on them.
Yeah, that I got. It looks like they're trying to protect themselves, but I figured you saw how we could backfire it on them big time.
Yeah, they were just hoping that the people wouldn't be smart enough to see that basically this was the out that the people have been looking for, and we can come in and basically put a judgment lien against these foreign bankrupt corporations for like $100 million, both on Chapter or Section 1 and Section 2.
Right.
Both against the state and against the United States. So that's $200 million against the state and $200 million against the United States bankrupt. You can file a $1 million lien against, like, the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, the Governor of the state, all operating in fraud.
Right. Anybody who messes with you.
Because they are operating in insurrection against the people. And basically that is a violation of the trade laws. Section 1. And they're monopolizing it. How many times of these senators and everything else, House of Representatives, sitting in office, okay? They basically run for re-election, basically when they're not supposed to. Basically, that's $1 million fine right there. Because they're now monopolizing that seat of office. You people see what I'm talking about? How I'm leading these things into play?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so powerful, Patrick, that we're probably going to be labeled as terrorists or paper terrorists, and they'll come and arrest us rather than do what they're supposed to do. I'm not saying I'm afraid to do anything. I'm still going to do something, but we should have some backup teams in case some of us get in trouble.
You have your own backup. Have your own backbone, okay?
Right. Yeah.
You don't cow down to these people in the process.
Yeah.
What are they going to take you back into another one of their courts? And if you know what the shit you're talking about, you're going to shut them down.
Right. Yeah, I'm not afraid to do it. I'm just thinking that we're at such an extreme point.
Well, and don't even bring it up, because basically it instills fear into some of these other nitwits out here that don't want to say a damn thing.
Okay. Yeah, we just got to...
You got to stand strong. You got to be positive.
Right.
I concur with that, Patrick. I concur with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, when you stand up to these people, they will back down. You pull your consent. You've got to consent to them having control over you. If you don't give consent, they have no jurisdiction over you. They may beat the shit out of you, but basically they're going to pay in the end. You just don't give them any cause to kill you, so that you stay alive to basically come back against them.
Right. Now, you said not to go to their, we don't have to go to their courts. We're just going to file a lien as a private attorney general and make our own orders and back it up.
No, we're going to go into their court too. Okay? That's what this chapter 15 is about.
Yeah.
We go into their court, but we're coming in from our foreign court and also the court of the United States of America, because that's where our letters of credit basically originated from, was from the Full Faith and Credit Act of the Constitution. They are deadly afraid of the Constitution. They're afraid of the great seal of this country, the eagle with the 13 stars above his head, the 13 olive branches, and the 13 arrows. They hate the number 13. That's why, basically, in Vegas, you won't find 13 out there in many cases. You might find it on the roulette table, and that's about it.
Yeah, I
And always stand on a 13 in blackjack, even if the dealer has a 10. Basically, the chances are he's probably got a bust card underneath there, and basically the card that you would be getting would be busting you anyway. So basically, the odds are that basically you stand on 13. It's a jinx to them. You got to have the energy on your side of the aisle. And you can reference that great seal. Basically, especially in a federal court. I did it in the bankruptcy court. I referenced the eagle in the shield for the Justice Department in that bankruptcy court. I said, I'm the eagle standing right there. I have jurisdiction over this court. And they knew damn well that basically I was making the right reference, that I stood over them. And see, most people out here have taken the wrong approach into thinking that the full faith and credit was the government's to give. No, we the people gave our full faith and credit to the government so that the government could operate out here to supply us with the protections of our rights and powers. We gave them something, they have to give us something back in return. And see, with that certificate of live birth, we gave them full faith and credit into the bankruptcy. And now, with the Social Security account, we gave a full faith and credit value over to a foreign nation that is controlled by the Queen of England. And the bankers out of London town that are in charge of the Federal Reserve banking system. But they turned around and took us as a creditor and made us into a debtor under identity theft. And basically with almost every attorney general out here website, you can go in and they have online filings in several cases of identity theft. Now, in some cases, their forms are not quite what you're going to want to say, so you have to basically do an affidavit against that, saying that basically they took you, your person, as a creditor and turned him into a debtor. That's the false identification. Not that they stole your credit card or anything like that. They stole your name. And took you from being a creditor to being a debtor. Any other questions, comments?
I have a question, Patrick.
Ask it.
My wife is her professional license has come under review.
Speak up.
My wife, she has a professional license. It's come under review of the state, and they're trying to hit her with a civil penalty for her license. I was thinking we claim Book of Ruth. I go in as the international organization and send an affidavit to that. She wouldn't actually have to sign anything if we did it that way, correct?
No, she's going to have to sign it because basically they wanted women to live in this country, so she became a creditor also.
Okay.
Yeah, she gave her signature and basically was able, with her birth certificate, basically was assigned to be a creditor, okay, under full faith and credit. She gave her faith and credit over to the government also.
Okay, and we have our filings in as well. So,
now what license was this?
Real estate license.
Well, she ought to get rid of that damn thing anyway. She's operating for the damn corporation in a fraudulent manner.
I realize that. Well, we're looking to get out of the system as much as anyone else, but you don't cross change horses in the middle of a stream. So
basically, you almost have to. Okay, you've got to come in under this bankruptcy, and basically, if you read this about Chapter 15, you can get relief, and you're going to come in the capacity as the administrator. That what the hell is that? That damn just a second. Find where now I'm at. Look up the word Ancillary. and read all the definitions about that.
Ancillary?
Yes. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to come in and basically you can do an attachment. You're going to be the administrator in the process. Okay? It's going to be an action. And basically it stands for subordinate, complaining, complementing, or auxiliary. It's going to be a support against your living nation, okay? Your domicile. You have to address who basically is holding, like in the bankruptcy filing, who is the holder in due course of where your letters of credit went. Like the state of Iowa, or the state of whatever, or the United States, or the Social Security Administration, or the Defense Department, or the Department of Transportation. And then you also can go after the damn insurance division in the state too, because they're writing bonds against your assets. Even these courts, you can basically place them in the process that they've caused you harm. The foreign government of the county, the bankrupt corporation, not the de jure corporation, but the bankrupt corporation of the county. That they've restricted your right of trade and commerce, and then also monopolized the settlement process by denying you settlement.
Yeah, you was on the porch earlier.
And if you read that chapter 15, it says that basically you can come in and ouster the damn trustee. Now, you're the trustee over this bankruptcy proceeding. You can put a charge in and get paid. You basically have the order issued out for the seizure of all your properties as the private attorney general. Foreign private attorney general, however you want to look at it. And then those assets have to be turned over to the trustee. You don't need an attorney or anything to handle this. And you don't need to pay a filing fee either. You basically give them your full faith and credit per Article 4, Section 1. And if they don't take it, then basically they're in violation of the item. They're admitting right there that they are not the de jure government court system. And that they're operating an insurrection against the country. And they will not want to admit that, okay? And they'll hope that basically you might be the only one that's going to do this. So spread the word in the process when you're working on your write-ups. Okay, anybody else have any questions?
Yes, Patrick, as we're coming up to speed on this chapter 15, can we continue on with our 1047s and exercise some of that, or should we concentrate on this?
You're going to have to write it up, basically, when you go after these guys, that basically you gave your full faith and credit, and that basically if they do not return that to you, basically you're going to be filing $100 million charge against the state, against this bankrupt state, that you know that they're operating in total fraud.
Okay.
Use their own codes out here against them. They try and use their codes against us because they try and claim we're the debtor. But see, when you get your identity theft in there and basically put that in properly, now you have them on another charge of identity theft. And that is jail time right there, too.
So this is additional warning and enforcement for them to basically do these transactions.
It's an additional charging system, okay?
Right. So that's right.
The warning is off, okay?
Okay, we're going to go big time. Good.
Yeah. We're going to charge them. Start charging them with identity theft. That's the key number one thing, starting point. That's what I did with the Social Security Inspector General. That's why basically I got settlement right now, because they knew that I had them. Now I'll go the rest of the way about the whole thing, and basically this is also coming under Title 46 USC, Chapter 73 and 573. We have the right to get and we have to come in admiralty. That's why basically I tried to get people to do that baptismal certificate and get it filed into the county records, claiming your status as in admiralty. That gave you another person. You are now a prince on the land and a prince on the water. And you have your foreign jurisdiction in both cases out here against these foreign bankrupts, as you are a member protected by the Declaration of Independence for the United States of America, and also under the constitutional protections of the Constitution for the United States of America. We are really a continental in the process. We are a North American continental international organization. It was only when these bankrupt corporations started into place that they started putting all these licenses and certificates out here to try and control us. Prior to that, you could go across the Canadian border, you could go across the Mexican border, no papers whatsoever, because we're all North Americans. We all have a claim against the North American Treasury. Stop trying to be an isolationist in the process. Be a continental. Love your brothers and sisters on this continent. Be they Mexican, Guatemalans, whatever, Canadians.
What about the stupid
We're
one?
all continentals, okay? Anybody else have a comment?
Stop, Patrick.
I'll ask one more time. Any comments? Star 6 if you got something to say.
Hey, Patrick, if we're going to write this like as a complaint in affidavit form, and it at the end it evolves into the claims or the reimbursements that we want, right? I mean, I understand how to make the complaint, but setting up the charges.
You're filing a petition for recognition
Okay.
of a foreign proceeding. That is bankruptcy form 401. Okay?
Okay.
You have to identify your debtors in their foreign different jurisdictions.
Okay.
And who is holding those assets in their foreign jurisdiction.
Right.
And you're coming in and you're going to do a liquidation of them. You can turn around and after you get this Chapter 15 started, you can turn around and file Chapter 7s against these other individuals. Even taking the state of into a Chapter 7. When you place your judgment lien against them for $100 million.
In the 15 or in the 7? In the 15,
in
right?
The 7.
Oh,
but it will be all under the Chapter 15 main heading.
Yeah.
Read the documents. I had John post up there about bankruptcy, Chapter 15 bankruptcy. It's addressed right in there.
Okay.
And there's other documents out there to substantiate this also if you go into the internet and search for Chapter 15.
I put the three links that you posted, Patrick.
I just gave you a couple, okay?
Right.
To get you start looking in the right direction.
Right. I put them up on the study group.
Yeah, I've got about a dozen of them, and then I downloaded a bunch of the bankruptcy forms.
Okay.
Yeah, for Chapter 15, they want, in some cases, either $550 or $1,167. Filing fee. They don't give you a waiver form for those filing fees. But we don't need them. We basically give them a letter of credit, our full faith and credit into the payment of that fee. Now, if they don't take it, then they are admitting that they are operating in insurrection against the Constitution of this country. I've said this about 3 or 4 times now when I was addressing this. So if you still haven't quite got a comprehension of it, listen to this phone call at least 3 or 4 more times. Take notes.
Yeah, you explained it well. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? I went on the Angel Stark show the other night, okay? I don't know where I sent that link or that 1.5 meg audio, WAM or whatever it was, Tom. I think I sent it to you.
I
Which was about the last 20, 25 minutes on Angel's show the other night that I came on there. I didn't want to get into an argument with anybody else until basically I waited till they were pretty much done, and then I came in there. I could have told the guy right up front, there's this doctor out in California that basically they're trying to take him down for taxes. Well, I could have told him how to get out of the damn process, but I knew that basically dealing with the guy I was dealing with, he was so-called an expert in the tax laws and everything else, and they wanted to continue to fight, and they weren't going to hear anything else. So I wasn't going to get into an argument with them, stating that basically it's a lot simpler than what most of these people out here are trying to do. There's another talk show that's basically, what the hell was that? Just a second. The Gallant Goose. You can go into their talk show and listen to the 32 series that they had. And the guy basically, he charges about $5,000 to help people in a mortgage situation. He had a couple good points in his call, but basically he was barking up the wrong tree in most of his process going about it. The points that he made was getting a document into a court case, and then even if the judge dismissed the case, you can reopen it in an appeals court. You can even reopen a case in appeals court if you have found out additional information after the fact. And most appeals courts are a tribunal court. That right there should tell you something.
All right. No, I didn't get that audio, Patrick. Angela Stark audio.
I'm pretty sure by memory the talk shoe ID is 39904.
Yep, 39904. Okay.
That's the PIN number, guys.
Okay.
And what was probably Thursday night or something.
Thursday night, I'll send this over to you, Tom, then you can post it.
Well, okay, we'll do it. Got it. It's connecting.
Yeah, all these matters are administrative. I know we have to go to the court, but they should have been solved administratively beginning, and we should never had to have gone to a court.
Right, but see, they ain't going to do that. They're out here operating for profit and for hire.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
They're fucking thieves, okay? You got to look at them that way. They are bank robbers. They're robbing the bank of the constitutional United States of America. They're bank robbers, foreign bank robbers.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're the ones that are in violation of the 14th Amendment, Section 3. They are in insurrection against this nation. and the people of the nation. And then they're trying to hold you to the second sentence in Section 4 by being a debtor in the process. We have to come in under affidavit and move out from being a debtor to being the creditor under the first sentence in Section 4 of the 14th Amendment. But people don't know how to read that damn amendment and know what it says. They read everything else out there, and they want to constantly argue against the Constitution being a valid document. We ought to go back to the Articles of Confederation. Both of them were banking charters. The first one was a failed banking charter because it took all 13 states or colonies to be in agreement. It failed. But they took the good parts of it and moved it over into the Constitution that we have today as the de jure banking constitution of the country. It's still there. We just have to come in and protect it and enforce it. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Okay.
You were saying something, Tom?
I was having trouble hearing you. I think my computer got tied up with downloading your audio, and I was going to ask if people heard you, and then all of a sudden you were there. So yes, they heard you.
I dropped off my damn Skype, so I reload it and see what comes back up. Sometimes I have to do that when some of these documents are downloaded.
Well, it's still reconnecting. It hasn't quit. And
no, it's connected now, and basically it should be downloading.
Yeah, it is downloading. It is giving me a few bytes at a time. Yeah. 12 minutes remaining. One minute remaining. So it's going pretty well. No, I'll dig into this, Patrick. I think I can get it to the BK15.
Okay, how about the other people out here? How many you got on the call?
We've got 19 right now.
So far, I think I've only heard 4 people. So that leaves 15 other people that basically, you got something to say or not? Please show you're alive, people.
Look up.
Got a comment? Okay, Tom, call tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll get right on.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, Patrick.
Thanks, Pat.